Welcome to the channel. My name's Ethan, and today we're talking about Microsoft Teams. Specifically, we're talking about how to use it in the classroom. So, getting right into Microsoft Teams, this is the page that you're going to come to when you log in. This is where your teams or classes, whichever you want to call them, will be, and they'll be listed right here. As you can see, I created one called Math just for this example. If you want to join or create a team, you go up here and hit this button and then pick join or create. If you're creating, you'll name it. If you're joining, you'll enter a code that whoever created it gives and provides. If we go into this class that I've created, I'll show you some of the functions. So here is going to be, it's going to be kind of social media-ish. You can post comments, conversations, you can post videos, all of these down here, files, random messages, and anyone in the class can do this depending on your settings. You can change it to be only the owner, so you, the teacher, can submit posts and comments, or you can allow everyone to do that. I think allowing the students to be able to do this might be nice for them to get questions, but it might also be a distraction if they get a little carried away with talking to each other through it. It kind of depends on the class and the students and your decision in that. So that's what the posts tab is up here. Going over to the files, this is where you're going to add your course material or your class material. So if you have course readings that you want them to do, worksheets, different things like that, where you have a PDF or a Word document for them to have, that's where you're going to go for files. And it's very simple. You just upload those through there. Class notebook. This is going to be a OneNote notebook, which is very nice. It's what I use. It is what I use to take notes in class. It is very nice, and you can have a class notebook set up for your students for this specific class. Next, you have assignments, and this is where you can create and assign assignments, including quizzes and homework. Grades is obviously where they'll check their grades, and then you can add any tab you want. So you're basically going to have free range to add almost anything you want inside the class. You might not use some of these ones down here because these are for when businesses have Microsoft Teams to communicate with each other. So a lot of these you probably won't use, but the ones at the top you'll probably use on a fairly normal basis. You got Word, Excel, Forms, OneNote, and the rest of these, including YouTube. So it's kind of nice to have that tab up here just so you can get to those apps that you use regularly on an easy basis, and so can the students. So this is within a class, and you can have different tabs for each class that you have. I would recommend posts, files, and assignments and grades be on all of your classes, just because those are the ones that the students need and will use the most. So before I go into how to create an assignment, I just want to talk about a few of the functions that are over here on the left. At the top, you have activity. So this is basically going to be anything done or said by you or communicated with you will show up there. The chat function is basically going to be you're going to be able to communicate with anybody in your organization or school. So anybody that is in your school through the email Office 365, you'll be able to chat and communicate with them. Teams is going to be where we were at the very beginning. This is just going to be where we were with all your classes, and that's how you get to the different teams and classes. Assignments will be all the assignments for all of the classes. Calendar will obviously be a calendar where you can add your specific class. If you are doing a Meet, which is kind of like a Zoom, which I can get into in a minute. If you have an assignment or a quiz, you can put all of that on calendar. Calls are the meets, files are the files that we talked about up here, and then you can add apps here. So this is kind of a bigger version of what you can have over here, and it's going to mostly apply to all of your teams and all of your classes where this is specific to one class. I would add assignments this way that I'm about to get into rather than over here, simply because you don't have to worry about clicking the wrong class. You're inside the class already, and then you can create an assignment. Here, you'll have to actually select which class to assign it, and then that just allows you and everyone to make a mistake for which class you assign it to. So I would just do it this way, which I'll get into right now. So to create an assignment, you'll go into the class you want, go to the assignments tab, and then you'll hit create. You can go from an existing one. So if you have a consistent form or format that you want for your homework assignments or quizzes, you can choose from existing and start that way, or you can start from scratch. I'm going to show you how to start from scratch. So if you hit assignment, you can do the same thing for quizzes, but this is going to be your title. So what's it named? Math Worksheet 2. These are going to be the instructions. So you can also add a Word document or a Google Doc or something, a file here instead of typing in all of your instructions. This is going to be your points or a rubric, and you can add a rubric instead of assigning points in here. And then this is for the specific class, so which class it is, but it should, if you're inside the class, already have that there, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. And then this over here is going to be which students do you assign it to. Almost always you'll assign a homework assignment to all students in that class. This is the due date and the time due. And finally, you can hit post assignments, and that should be it. You hit save, and once you type in all of this stuff, you'll be able to hit assign, and then the students should get a notification or see it here in post when you assign an assignment, and they'll be able to go into, let's actually create one, math worksheet, these instructions, 5 points, assign. So I assigned a worksheet due tomorrow. Now as a student, you can go into this, and that's how you're going to submit. So this is how you're going to submit it. This will be the worksheet. Obviously, there will be stuff here, but that's how you'll submit it. You'll submit it either if it's a worksheet, a PDF, or you can take pictures of it. But that's how they'll go in. They'll go into here and then submit it that way. You can also create a quiz, and it'll usually take the form of these forms. But you can hit new quiz and make a quiz that way, and it'll lead through the steps, kind of similar to the assignments. Finally, I just want to mention the Meet function over here, and this is where you can have Zoom type of meetings, but the Microsoft Teams version of that. And you can do this, and you can have Meet Now. I don't want to meet now, but you can also schedule one with this arrow, schedule a meeting, and then students will be able to see that in post, as well as they'll get notifications like I have over here. I think that is it for Microsoft Teams. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I will be posting more tutorials on technology in the classroom.